David, you have been in Canterbury this week, watching, listening, trying to make sense of all this. Why are the Anglican leaders restricting the role of the U.S. Episcopal Church?
Because at the last General Convention, they passed a resolution changing the canons and constitution of the church to allow gay marriage. And that was a bridge too far for the vast majority of primates or archbishops here in Canterbury.
All right. And so what practically does this mean that they're restricting the role of the U.S. Episcopal Church?
What it means is this, that the Episcopal Church is no longer able to represent the Anglican communion on any ecumenical and interfaith body. So they cannot talk with the Roman Catholic Church, the Russian Orthodox Church, and they should not be appointed or elected to an internal standing committee, and that they can only participate in the internal bodies of the Anglican communion that have no decision-making or pertain to the doctrine or polity of the church. So they can talk about refugees if they want, or climate control, but they are not permitted to talk about anything regarding the doctrine and polity of the church. And they cannot do that for 3 years.
All right. And is that move going to be enough to satisfy the conservative element of the Anglican communion known as GAFCON?
Well, apparently it did. They did not walk out. We expected them to walk out on Tuesday, and then Wednesday came, and they didn't walk. And my feeling was that the longer they were being delayed, the more the reconcilers and so forth were doing their thing, and apparently they were successful. They did not walk out. The primates decided that the GAFCON that they would stay, and this was confirmed later when I interviewed Archbishop Foley Beach of the ACNA. It was still not recognized by the Archbishop of Canterbury, but he is recognized by the GAFCON primates. And the Archbishop of Canterbury was very cordial to him and so forth and so on. So, no, they did not walk out, and later the Archbishop of Canterbury said that in 2020 there will be a Lambeth conference and everybody will show up.
What is your understanding at this point in time of what is keeping that conservative element known as GAFCON in the Anglican communion?
Good question. Part of the issue we now learned was that of the 30, that there were actually only 36 primates there. 21 were newbies. They had never before been to a meeting of their own fellow primates or archbishops of the Anglican communion. And the feeling was that the 8 or 9 GAFCON primates should not abandon them and walk out, because most of them don't know all about the issues. So there's going to be a huge education issue for the teaching of the 21 other primates there, what is actually going on in the West. Remember, you're dealing with, they had 3 languages going, Korean, French, and Spanish, as well as English. So a lot of them are not up to speed. And so the feeling is they need to be brought up to speed before any ultimate decision had to be made. If they were the same old gang that always there, then that probably might have walked. But the feeling was they weren't prepared to abandon at least 21 new archbishops who are not familiar with all the issues.
So a split has been avoided for now, but it sounds like in 3 years everything will be revisited.
No, I think in 3 years we'll have to see what happens. They've formed a task force, so we'll have to see what the task force does and whether they're going to enforce anything in 3 years.
All right, so still a lot up in the air at this point in time. How would you summarize the week? It sounds like it's been a lot of ups and downs.
Yes, there were expectations that the GAFCON primates would walk out. They did not. There was the expectation that the Episcopal Church would be more seriously disciplined. It was not. The Anglican Church of Canada was not disciplined at all, but if they pass any canons regarding marriage, that might be considered a line in the sand that the Anglican communion might get addressed. But a lot of the talk was that we cannot tell anybody what to do. We're a sort of a collegial group of bishops. We don't have a magisterium like the Roman Catholic Church. We don't have a pope, so he can't tell us what to do. So provinces are really free to do whatever they want to do, and you just hope that this doesn't cause a breakdown in the actual running of the communion. I think it will at some point down the road, if things are not resolved, lead to a breakdown, but not now.